Understanding that the past is a part of who we are is crucial, but it should not be an anchor holding us back, preventing us from moving towards a bright future. Imagine yourself as a sailor navigating the seas of life, who needs to look back occasionally to understand where they came from. However, if you spend all your time looking back, you will end up losing direction and might even shipwreck. Life, like the sea, is in constant motion, and we, as skilled navigators, must learn to adjust the sails to take advantage of the winds of the present, leading us towards a promising future. Yes, the past has its valuable lessons. It's like a personal history book, full of adventures, challenges, victories, and defeats. Each chapter of this book contributed to the amazing person you are today. However, being stuck in that book, rereading the same chapters over and over, will not help in writing new, vibrant chapters full of possibilities. It's time to pick up a new pen, turn the page, and start writing a new story, your future story. Liberating yourself from the past does not mean forgetting it or ignoring lived experiences. It means recognizing that although these experiences have shaped who you were, they do not define who you will be. It's a process of transformation, where each learned lesson becomes a step to reach new heights. Think of it as gardening. For new plants to grow and blossom, sometimes it's necessary to prune the old ones. It's not an easy task, but it's essential to ensure that the garden of your life is always renewed and vibrant. Now imagine yourself as a sculptor. The past is the raw marble block you started working on. Each chisel strike, guided by experiences, helped form the sculpture that is you today. But the sculptor's work is never truly finished. There's always room to refine, smooth edges, and reveal new shapes. By freeing yourself from the past, you are choosing which part of the marble to keep and which part to transform, allowing the best version of yourself to come to light. The journey to free yourself from the past and embrace a bright future is unique for each of us. There's no map or compass that works for everyone, but there's one thing everyone has in common: the ability to change, to grow, and to choose their own path. I encourage you to look within, recognize the value of your past experiences, and use those lessons as a beacon to light the way ahead. The future is a blank canvas, waiting for the colors you choose to paint it with. Recognizing the past is like opening an old chest of memories where each object has its story, its joys, and its pains. It's understanding that every lived experience, good or bad, contributed in some way to the person you are today. Imagine walking through a garden where flowers represent happy moments and weeds the difficult times. By recognizing each part of this garden, you begin to understand how the weeds, as much as they seem undesirable, actually nourished the soil so that the flowers could bloom even more beautifully. This process of recognition is not about clinging to the past, but rather about accepting it as part of your journey. Just like an artist who looks at their early works and realizes how much they have evolved, looking at your past with understanding and acceptance is crucial for your personal growth. Every mistake, every success is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life, and without them, your masterpiece wouldn't be complete. So by recognizing the past, you not only understand yourself better, but also gain the strength and wisdom to shape an even brighter future. It's an invitation to embrace all parts of yourself, integrating the lessons learned along the way and moving forward with more confidence and hope. Forgiving to free yourself is one of the most powerful and transformative acts we can perform on our journey of personal growth. Forgiveness is like opening the windows of a dark house and letting sunlight and fresh air in. It not only illuminates but also renews the interior environment. Often we carry the weight of resentment and hurt like a backpack full of stones. Each stone represents an offense, a mistake, or a pain from the past. Over time, this backpack becomes so heavy that it prevents us from walking freely towards our future. Forgiving does not mean forgetting what happened or excusing others' mistakes. It is, above all, an act of personal liberation. When we forgive, we are not saying that what happened is okay, but we are choosing to free ourselves from the bitterness and pain that bind us to the past. Imagine that each act of forgiveness is like letting go of one of these stones from your backpack. With each stone released, you feel lighter and more free to walk towards a future of possibilities. Think of forgiveness as a bridge between the past and the future. On the side of the past, there are painful memories and experiences that hurt us. On the side of the future, there is hope, renewal, and new experiences waiting for us. Forgiving is building that bridge step by step, allowing yourself to cross to the other side, where we can live more fully without being tied to what hurt us. The act of forgiving can also be compared to the art of gardening. Just as we remove weeds so that flowers can grow healthy and strong, forgiveness removes the ties of resentment that choke our personal growth. By forgiving, we prepare the soil of our heart to plant seeds of compassion, love, and understanding, cultivating an internal garden of peace and happiness. Remember, forgiving is a choice and a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but with each step in that direction, you get closer to emotional freedom and inner peace. By choosing to forgive, you choose not only a path to your healing, but also a way to live lighter and happier. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, an act of self-love that opens the doors to a bright and liberating future. Looking back and reflecting on our past experiences is like flipping through an album of old photos. Each image, each memory tells a story, reveals a lesson learned, a moment of joy, or even a phase of challenges. The past is full of these records, some of which we would like to always keep close, while others we would prefer to forget. However, each of these moments contributed to our growth, shaped our personality, and taught us valuable lessons about ourselves, others, and life itself. Think of the past as a great teacher, whose lessons are recorded not in books, but on the pages of our own history. Every experience, whether positive or negative, comes with embedded learning. For example, that relationship that didn't work out taught the importance of mutual respect and communication. That job we lost showed us resilience and the ability to reinvent ourselves in times of crisis. And those happy moments spent with friends and family reinforced the value of human connections and gratitude. But how do we transform these past lessons into wisdom for the present and the future? The key lies in reflection and applying these learnings to current situations. It's like learning to cook a new dish. Initially, we follow the recipe step by step, but over time, we start to adapt, to experiment with new ingredients, and eventually, to create our own recipes. Similarly, by reflecting on past experiences, we begin to understand better which ingredients, decisions, attitudes, relationships bring us happiness and which we should avoid. Treat each past challenge as a step that led you to a higher level of understanding and maturity. Just like an artist who perfects their technique with each work, we also refine our ability to navigate life with each lived experience. It's not necessary to carry the weight of the past on our shoulders. Instead, we can choose to carry only the learned lessons, leaving behind the emotional burdens that no longer serve. Remembering the joys of the past can be a balm for the soul, especially in difficult times. These memories are reminders that happiness is possible and that good times can and will happen again. At the same time, the lessons learned from difficulties better prepare us to face future obstacles, making us more resilient and adaptable. Therefore, when looking back, do so not with regret but with appreciation for the countless lessons each moment brought. Every step taken, every decision made, was a necessary step on the path to becoming the person you are today. And remember, the future is still being written, and the lessons of the past are the tools with which we build an even brighter tomorrow. Letting go of the past is a bit like cleaning out our mind's closet. We keep so many things there: happy memories, grievances, regrets, what ifs, and so many other feelings that over time end up taking up a huge space. Each of these items is like a piece of clothing we no longer wear but insist on keeping, thinking we might need it someday. The truth, however, is that this accumulation only makes a mess and takes away our peace. Imagine that you finally decide to do that cleaning. You start looking at each piece, memory by memory. Some things you realize are still useful, bring joy, or valuable teachings. These you keep with care. But there are those that no longer serve, only take up space and bring weight. These are the grievances, the regrets, the missed opportunities. Letting go comes from recognizing that, although they were part of your story, they don't need to define your future. Letting go of the past is not forgetting it, but rather giving yourself permission to move forward, without the weight of baggage that is no longer necessary. It's like, by cleaning the closet, you create space for new things, new experiences, and most importantly, the freedom to choose what you really want to take forward in life from here on out. An analogy that can help in this process is to think of life as a boat trip. If your boat is overloaded with weights from the past, it will navigate with difficulty, maybe even sink. Letting go is throwing out those weights, one by one, making the boat lighter and the journey more enjoyable. And remember, the sea ahead is vast and full of possibilities. When you let go of the past, the hands that once firmly held the ropes of what was are now free to grasp the helm of what will be. The act of letting go is also an act of faith in the future and in oneself. It's believing that the best is yet to come, and that you have the strength and ability to build a bright future, regardless of what has been left behind. Letting go is, in essence, an act of self-love and renewal, a conscious choice not to allow the shadows of the past to dim the light of the present and future. Identifying and breaking limiting patterns is like blazing a trail in a dense forest, where each step reveals a bit more of the unknown terrain. We all have these patterns. They're like well-trodden paths in our minds, formed by years of repetitive walking. Some of these trails lead us to beautiful places, while others lead us to dead ends or worse, to dangerous cliffs. Recognizing these limiting patterns is the critical first step to forging new paths that lead to more promising destinations. Imagine your mind is a garden. The limiting patterns are like weeds that, if not controlled, can suffocate the desirable plants, those you planted with hope and intention. Identifying these weeds requires careful and honest observation. Ask yourself, which thoughts and behaviors are preventing me from growing? It could be procrastination, constant self-criticism, or perhaps the difficulty in saying no. Recognizing these patterns is like putting your hand in the soil to pull out the weeds by the root. Once identified, it's time to break these patterns. It's not an easy task, just as changing the direction of a river doesn't happen overnight. It requires effort, patience, and above all, compassion for oneself. Start small. If your limiting pattern is procrastination, try the just 5 minutes technique to start tasks you tend to postpone. If it's self-criticism, practice self-compassion, recognizing your efforts and progress, not just your outcomes. Remember, breaking limiting patterns is like learning a new dance. In the beginning, you might step on your own foot, lose the rhythm, or even fall. But with practice, patience, and perseverance, you start to move with more grace and confidence. Every misstep is a learning opportunity, not a sign of failure. Engage with people and environments that support your growth. Just as plants need fertile soil, sunlight, and water to grow, we also need an environment that nurtures our new patterns of thinking and behavior. Surround yourself with people who encourage, inspire, and support you. Seek out environments that reinforce the behaviors you wish to cultivate. Over time, you will see that limiting patterns can be replaced by empowering patterns, leading you towards a brighter and more promising future. Creating a new narrative for your life is like being the author of a book in which you are the protagonist. Think about it. Until now, you have been living a story written based on your past experiences, choices, and sometimes the expectations of others. But what if you decided to pick up a pen and start a new chapter? It's not necessary to ignore the previous chapters, as they are valuable. They brought you here, taught important lessons, and shaped the character you are today. However, now, you have the opportunity to write something new, something that resonates with who you wish to be and where you want to go. Imagine yourself as a painter in front of a blank canvas. Each previous brushstroke contributed to your technique and style, but the canvas in front of you is a chance to create something unprecedented. You decide which colors to use, which shapes to bring to life, and what this new work will represent. This doesn't mean the previous paintings have lost their value. They are part of your life's exhibition, showing your evolution as an artist. But now, you have the freedom to express a new vision, perhaps more aligned with your current self. Creating a new narrative is also like planting a garden. You can choose which seeds to plant based on what you've learned about the soil, your current conditions, the climate, the environment around you, and the seasons, the phases of your life. Some plants, habits, relationships, careers from the past may no longer flourish in the garden you wish to cultivate now. So, with care and attention, you select new seeds that will thrive, creating a space that reflects your essence and current aspirations. Remember, when creating your new narrative, you are not erasing the past or devaluing your experiences. On the contrary, you are using the wisdom gained to write a story that resonates with the person you have become and still wish to become. It's an ongoing process of self-discovery, growth, and transformation, where you are the author, the painter, and the gardener of your own existence. Setting future goals is like drawing a treasure map for the life you wish to create. Imagine yourself as an explorer at the start of a grand adventure, where the treasure is the version of your life you most yearn for. Each point marked on the map is not just a destination, but a promise of growth, learning, and fulfillment. The act of setting goals is the first step in turning that vision into reality. It's the moment when you take the helm of your life and begin to navigate consciously towards your dreams. Just as a navigator needs stars to guide their way, your goals serve as guides to keep you focused and motivated, even when the waters get rough. However, it's crucial that these goals are clear, measurable, and above all, aligned with your values and passions. This ensures that they are truly yours, reflecting what you wish to achieve and not what others expect from you. Think of setting goals not as a rigid list of tasks to accomplish, but as a set of lighthouses illuminating your path, allowing for course adjustments as needed. Flexibility is key for, just like an experienced sailor, you need to be prepared to change direction when unexpected winds blow. After all, the process of reaching your goals is as important as the goals themselves, offering invaluable opportunities for growth and self-discovery. To make your goals more tangible, break them down into smaller, measurable steps. This can be compared to dividing a long journey into shorter segments, making the trip more manageable and less intimidating. Celebrating each small victory along the way is essential as it reinforces your confidence and keeps motivation high. Remember, setting goals is also an invitation to dream big. Allow yourself to imagine what would be possible if you weren't afraid to fail. Like a painter in front of a blank canvas, you have the power to create a masterpiece of your life, stroke by stroke, goal by goal. In the end, what matters most is not just achieving your goals, but who you become in the process of pursuing them. Every step towards your goals is a step towards the person you wish to be. So grab your treasure map, mark your guiding stars, and embark on the journey of turning your dreams into reality. The bright future you long for is waiting for you. Just take the first step. Surrounding yourself with positivity is like planting a garden where only colorful and vibrant flowers bloom. Imagine that each positive person in your life is one of these flowers, bringing color, fragrance, and beauty to your days. In contrast, negativity can be seen as the weeds, that try to choke these flowers, taking away the space and nutrients needed for them to grow. Our task, then, is to be attentive gardeners, ensuring that our garden, our mind and our heart, is always filled with the healthiest and most vibrant flowers. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean ignoring life's problems or challenges, but choosing to focus on what is constructive and inspiring. It's choosing friends who, like stars, shine brightest on the darkest nights and who, with their words and actions, encourage you to be the best version of yourself. It's opting to consume content that feeds your soul and spirit, whether it's an inspiring book, music that lifts your spirits, or even videos that bring messages of optimism and hope. Imagine that your energy is a precious currency. Investing it in situations and people that drain this energy is like throwing that currency away. On the other hand, investing in positivity is like depositing that currency in a bank, where the return is guaranteed in the form of more happiness, inner peace, and personal growth. An interesting analogy is to think of positivity as sunlight for plants. Just as plants turn towards the sun to grow, we can also turn towards what lights up our life, makes us feel alive, and gives us reasons to wake up with enthusiasm every day. Life is too short to be lived in the dark. Open the windows of your mind, let the light in, and watch your inner garden bloom under the glow of positivity. Surround yourself with light, with people who make you feel good, with activities that nourish your soul, and with thoughts that elevate your spirit. This is the path to a happier and more fulfilling future. Adopting change as a constant in life is like becoming a skilled surfer who knows that the sea is never calm and that each wave brings its own surprise. Just as the surfer learns to read the waves, to balance on their board, and to enjoy the moment, we can also learn to navigate life's changes with grace and skill. Change is the only constant in life, and accepting it not just as a possibility, but as a reality can transform our way of living. Imagine that life is like a river that flows constantly. Trying to hold the water in your hands is futile. It escapes through your fingers, no matter how much we try to grasp it. Similarly, trying to prevent changes from happening is a lost battle. Instead, we can learn to swim with the current, to appreciate the beauty of flowing water, and to discover new paths that the current takes us on. A practical example of this can be seen in nature, which is always in a state of change and renewal. Trees lose their leaves in autumn to be reborn in spring, each season bringing its own beauty and challenges. Just like the seasons change, we also face different phases in our lives, each with its lessons and opportunities for growth. Change often comes with uncertainty and fear of the unknown. But just like the artist in front of a blank canvas, we have the opportunity to create something new and beautiful with each change we face. Seeing change as an opportunity for creativity and innovation can open doors to experiences we never imagined possible. Adopting change as a constant is also an invitation to personal development. It's a process of detachment, where we learn to let go of what no longer serves and embrace new possibilities. Change challenges us to step out of our comfort zone, to question our beliefs, and to grow in ways that surprise us. Adopting change as a constant is a journey of self-discovery and freedom. It's recognizing that, although we cannot control everything that happens to us, we have the capacity to choose how we respond to changes in our lives. Facing change with courage, curiosity, and openness, we can find joy in the process of becoming who we are meant to be. We have come to the end of this journey of self-discovery and transformation, where we sought to free ourselves from the chains of the past to embrace a future filled with light and possibilities. Along this path, we shared laughs, reflections, and perhaps even some tears, as we delved into the art of forgiving, understanding our mistakes, and celebrating our victories, no matter how small. As we reflect on what we've learned, it's essential to remember that the process of freeing ourselves from the past and embracing the future is not a final destination, but a continuous journey. Like a tree that, with each season, sheds its leaves to make way for new growth. We too must learn to let go of what no longer serves to allow new experiences and learnings to blossom in our lives. It's also important to remind ourselves that, although we may not control every event that happens to us, we have full capacity to choose how we react to them. This choice is what defines us, what makes us unique and wonderful human beings, capable of overcoming adversities and transforming pain into strength. Therefore, I encourage you to take with you not only the lessons learned, but also the reminder that each day is a new opportunity to write a different story. A story where you are the protagonist of your own life, with the power to shape the future with the colors of hope, joy, and love. Remember that the journey to a bright future is richer and more rewarding when shared. So, spread love, kindness, and compassion wherever you go, touching the lives of others in a positive way, just as we hope to have touched yours through this video. I hope this message has been helpful to you. Don't forget to like and share this video. See you in the next video. Goodbye.